Good afternoon, Kristen here. In the world of fantasy, you can be anyone you want to be. You can be a dwarf, a mage, a troll, or even a wizard. You can cast spells on your friends, or maybe on your enemies. You can have a pet dragon and ride high in the sky. Maybe you want to fall in love with a vampire and live forever. In the world of fantasy, magic is real, and your wildest dreams can really come true. The possibilities are truly endless. Today, I'm going to talk about 5 books in the genre of fantasy. In fantasy books, magic and magical worlds are as much as a reality as our world we live in. Truly magical things can happen if you just believe. The first book I'm going to talk about is Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Harry Potter is by J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling lives in the United Kingdom with her one child. After she got a divorce, she needed a way to make money, and that's how she started writing the Harry Potter series. These books have gained worldwide attention and have all 7 been made into hit movies. She has sold over 400 million copies. She was also named the most influential woman in Britain and was runner-up for Person of the Year in 2007. I used to dream about being able to do magic and having a wand to cast spells. After reading Harry Potter, I was even more intrigued with magic and the magical world. I want to be in Gryffindor. I want to play Quidditch and battle trolls. This book makes magic come to life. You feel like you know these characters, and it truly is magical. I was going to read an excerpt from my book. There is little time, one way or another, said Dumbledore. So let us discuss your options, Draco. My option, said Malfoy loudly. I'm standing here with a wand. I'm about to kill you. My dear boy, let us have no pretense about that. If you were going to kill me, you would have done it when you first disarmed me. You would not have stopped for this pleasant chat about ways and means. I haven't got any options, said Malfoy, and he's suddenly as white as Dumbledore. I've got to do it. He'll kill me. He'll kill my whole family. I appreciate the difficulty of your position, said Dumbledore. Why else do you think I have not confronted you before now? Because I knew that you would have been murdered if Lord Voldemort realized that I had suspected you. Malfoy winced at the sound of his name. And that's Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince by J.K. Rowling. The next book I'm going to talk about is Nanny Piggins and the Wicked Plan by R.A. Spratt. R.A. Spratt lives in Sydney, Australia with her husband and 2 daughters. She had 15 years in the television industry before beginning her writing. She has won many awards as a comedy writer. She just finished her 8th novel in the Nanny Piggins series and plans to do another series about a girl detective. Now, I need to ask you, do your parents make you do the dishes, feed the dog, even do your homework? Most people don't like chores. I know that I surely do not. But the kids in this book get pretty lucky when they have a pig for a nanny. A pig! Could you imagine? There is also a ringmaster, a hygiene-obsessed rival nanny, a silly headmaster, 13 identical twin sisters, and lots of other characters. I'm going to read an excerpt from this book. Nanny Piggins ran away from the circus and came to live with the Green family as their nanny. The Green children fell in love with her instantly. Who could not fall in love with a nanny whose only job qualification was her astonishing ability to get fired out of a cannon and her tremendous talent for making chocolate cake? or sometimes both at the same time. And this was Nanny Piggins and the Wicked Plan by R.A. Spratt. The next book I'm going to talk about is The Ratastrophe Catastrophe by David Lee Stone. Do you ever wish you could walk up to a beast and charm it with a flute? Well, in this book, that is not just a wish, but a possibility. David Lee Stone lives in Remich, England. He started writing at the age of 10 and even submitted his first manuscript to a publisher at the age of 13. Stone has written 6 volumes of the Ilmore Chronicles. He has also written the Gladiator Boy series and a novel about a fantasy pirate. So do you wish you could walk up to a beast and charm it with a flute? Or maybe a clarinet or a guitar? Do you love magical creatures? If so, this book is for you. This book contains a sorcerer, a buck-toothed giant, and a wise-cracking dwarf. There is good magic and bad magic, light magic and dark magic. What would you choose to possess? Let me read you an excerpt from my book. Light magic finds its place in the air, giving rise to galloping unicorns, love charms, and fairy grows before it evaporates into thin air. It is gentle and harmonious, a force that is one with nature. Though much sought by amateur sorcerers, it proves practically impossible to harness. And those who do not spend long hours in pursuit of mastering it are often said to be deranged. Dark magic, on the other hand, seeks immediately to the earth itself. In the land it was once used to forge, arising from the long-dead souls and the great and terrible enchanters. It is angry magic, an untamed source, and a parasite yearning for a host. And this again was The Ratastrophe Catastrophe by David Lee Stone. Our next book is The Dragonology Chronicles. So what do you think this book is going to be about? Dragons. This book is by Douglas Steere. Douglas Steere lives in Surrey, England. He's written over 100 books, but also worked at a publishing company and has edited numerous amounts of books. Many of his books have been in the New York Times bestseller list. Steere has now given up his editorial job to concentrate on writing full-time. What would you do with a dragon egg? Would you keep it, or would you get rid of it? Would you be intrigued, or would you be terrified? Daniel Cook, a boy of merely 12, decides to fight for the dragons as a plague sweeps over their world. He must fight dark magic and save the dragons. Can a 12-year-old really get that done? You must read to find out. All right, so I'm going to read an excerpt from the book. On my page. Sorry. I tore open the shed door, and both Beatrice and Nia hurled buckets of water inside. The frightened dragon shot through the ring of flames towards Dr. Drake. He tried to dodge between Dr. Drake's legs, but Dr. Drake caught him in a flame-proof cloak in a swift gesture and wrapped the cloak around him until he was no more than a wiggling bundle. So it sounds to me that they will fight to save these dragons. Our last book is one of my favorites. It is Twilight Breaking Dawn by Stephenie Meyer. Stephenie Meyer was a stay-at-home mother of 3 and invented the characters for the Twilight series from a dream she had. She planned the plot during swimming lessons, potty training, and making dinner. Her trilogy has won numerous awards, and her books have even been turned into a movie. Have you ever dreamed of living forever? There is a species in the magical world that is known for their immortality, and that is vampires. In Twilight, a human falls in love with a vampire, and he ends up turning her into one. But before he does that, there are quite a few surprising twists and turns. If you are looking for a new kind of love story, this is the book for you. And now we'll read an excerpt. And if you've never read Twilight, now is the time. Doesn't look like it to me. So what's your plan? I hope you have one. She nodded, not meeting my eyes. Did you know Esme jumped off a cliff? When she was human, I mean. So she was close enough to dead that they didn't even bother taking her to the emergency room. They took her right around to the morgue. Her heart was still beating, though, when Carlisle found her. That's what she meant before about keeping her heart beating. You're not planning on surviving this, human, I stated dully. No, I'm not stupid, she met my stare. I guess you probably have your own opinion on that point, though. Emergency vampirization? I mumbled. It worked for Esme, and Emmett, and Rosalie, and even Edward. None of them were in such great shape. Carlisle only changed them because it was that or death. He doesn't end lives. He saves them. And that is Breaking Dawn, Twilight by Stephenie Meyer. I hope you have enjoyed our fantasy ride today into the magical world. And I hope you're intrigued with all the things that can come true through magic. I hope you run on down to a bookstore and check out fantasy books and enjoy going into a new world and dreaming all your dreams. Have a magical day.